Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? And welcome to Wet Wednesdays. Since I'm on vacation this week, uh, I want to do like an extended Wet Wednesdays. This and two movie reviews. And the movies are gonna be like some older obscure films. Laurel and Hardy's Dancing Masters from 1943 and Letter of Introduction from 1938, which I actually have some personal history with, even though it was my first time watching the whole thing and reviewing it. So I got, but first, the main thing is drink, and this is Arizona's all natural green tea, good brew, or Arizona's good brew, all natural green tea, however you want to say it. And I got this at Ollie's where the slogan is good stuff cheap, and this is the big 49 fluid ounce thing. Said their price is $2.39, our price is $1.59. Now this says $1.59 or $2.39 if you get it anywhere else, but at Country Fair, which is our local one of the local gas stations, with sheets and stuff like that. And usually gas stations are pretty expensive in their drink aisle. They have a huge drink aisle in there. They have little 20-ounce things of this good brew, $1.89 for a 20 ounce, and this 59 ounces for $1.59. $1.89 for a 20 ounce, which is I think is pretty expensive. You're further off just sticking with a Snapple or something like that if you're gonna pay those prices. And like I said, any other place that's giant thing $2.39, but all of this $1.59. Let's go ahead and open it up, and it has like a big thing right here. Are there any information on the back? Okay. Let's see. And it says what's good. I mean, and the thing is, Arizona iced tea says Arizona, but they're made in New York. It says Arizona beverages, but made in Woodbury, New York, which I always thought was funny. And it says at the back, it says what's good. Sometimes the best things in life are simple. Arizona good brew is real leaf brewed tea, and that's it. Take a sip, and we're sure you'll taste the difference. Here and that says savor the goodness. Arizona Good Brew green tea is made with hand-selected teas from around the globe, blended for perfection with real sugar, pure honey, and a whole lot of love, delivering that fresh home-brewed taste you remember. Real brewed tea, fresh brewed taste, and the ingredients are like brewed green tea, sugar, honey, citric acid, and natural flavor. But it said like it kind of contradicts what it says. It said it's just real leaf brewed tea, and that's it. But it has a couple more ingredients to it. I mean, aside from water, of course. And it has a really neat cap right there, and see the Arizona logo on the top. At least a photo. Let me pull it down here. I've never had one of these before. I saw them at Ollie's. I thought I'd try them out. For $1.59 for this big thing's not bad. For a lot better than paying $1.89 for 20 ounce. That's outrageous. It says shake good. Try it out. Well, I do like this cap though. Oh, okay. It's got a safety seal right here. Makes sense. Set this down so I don't get all over the place. Sometimes these safety seals are tougher to get off than the real thing. Oh wow, there was a hiss on that. I don't know if you guys heard it. You heard it definitely separate, and then you see the tea go down a little bit further. I like this. I like the lid though. I really like this lid. It's a softer type of plastic too. Let me shake it again. See some sediment. It's not sediment at the bottom. It just kind of stains a little bit at the bottom. Let's try it out. Not too bad. Um, Not to worry. I mean, I think it's a little bit. It says natural. You don't have that natural root taste because there's sugar in there, 15 grams, along with honey. I don't know. It's supposed to be real, but it has like that artificial tea type taste to it. Sometimes you get artificial tea or a Snapple type taste. Maybe they're going along with Snapple. Yeah. It just has a very flat taste to it. Nothing really extraordinary. I give this a 6 out of 10 for Arizona's good brew on natural green tea. Definitely drinkable though. And $1.59 for a big thing is not bad, but I want to get it again. Oh, and you got the Arizona thing right there, the cactus. That's pretty cool. On both sides. I forgot to show that off. So, I mean, it was alright. 6 out of 10 for the Arizona good brew all natural green tea. Let's talk about the movies. Now, ever since I saw, I didn't see it yet, but I want to. Standing all in the theaters, I've been kind of on a Laurel and Hardy kick, kind of. Because there's a lot of their stuff I haven't seen. Because usually I always talk about Flying Deuce, how good that was. And I've seen some of their shorts. I made sure to see the music box, of course, and stuff. And one came across the screen I never heard of for 20th Century Fox called Dancing Masters. And it starts off, it's like two different stories, really. It starts off with them both having a dancing school, and then, they're dressed in garb and stuff. Like, one is Stan is dressed in, like, ballerina clothes, and then, I don't know what the heck Ollie's in, but it's different, showing them dance and stuff like that, and then, they have an interlude, and then they have, like, these guys are con men saying that, we want to get out of the extortion racket and stuff. We want to get into a new business. How about insurance? Insurance? And they're having a meeting. I said, yeah, you ask for protection money. Well, this is kind of like the same thing, but it's like paying on insurance. You ask them, you sell insurance partly, and you may demand get paid every month. And it's like protection policy. And so they went and they sold it to Stan. They were real skeptical, and they gave him some weird physical, and then they buy it. It said like if you get injured, you get $100,000 or something like that. And then they agreed, and then whenever they left, I guess the cops picked them up. Oh, that's it, buddies. And then all of a sudden the story changes. It's really weird. And you go to this factory where this guy's while Trudy's still the main. They talk about Trudy. She's the one that only pays at the dance studio. And you go to some factory where this guy gets fired, and I guess he's not popular by a guy who owns the place, which ends up being Trudy's father, and who's making an invisible ray. And then all of a sudden you see him go over to her house, and then Laurel and Hardy, and a whole bunch of things, but the parents coming over and trying to hide. It's completely different movie than the whole thing with the invisible ray, which is kind of neat, but it just doesn't. They didn't tell too well. Like Laurel and Hardy said in that documentary, that they didn't like doing longer movies because it stretched out their comedy too much. Even though there's some really good funny parts in it, it just didn't tell the story that well. I liked the bus on the roller coaster real well, and then the way it ends is really strange. It ends really strange. I had a really funny joke on it, but it ends real weird. So I mean, I give that one a 6 out of 10. I wish they would have stuck more of the dancing school and the mob and stuff like that. More interesting. Invisible Ray is cool, but they don't really do a whole lot with it. Yeah, okay, so that's that one. Next one is Letter of Introduction. And we used to get stuff from a long time ago. My sister, this guy gave my dad something for Helltown, which I've already seen. And it was off of a video company called Alpha Delta or Alpha Delphi Video. And I remember they used to have in the Army buying like the little half-hour cartoons for like $1 or $2. They used to sell them at Ames for like $1, I think. And it'd be like 3 or 4 public domain cartoons. And it was from Alpha Delphi, either Alpha Delta or Alpha Delphi Video. I remember that being from PA. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they have them with a video line, which I didn't know about. And if you ever see the streaming service, they'll have like the old black and white pictures of photo on there, and they'll be like really beautifully animated in color, even though the movie's black and white. And you'll see a lot of those in the streaming services. Look up Letter of Introduction, or like a lot of the low budget ones. You'll see those photos, and that's the photos they get from the Alpha Delta Video, And, after that I got a catalog. I started ordering from them, and they have like a big catalog you go through on the DVD. And I remember one of them was Letter of Introduction. It had Charlie McCarthy. What caught my interest with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. I was big fans of them. Because I loved Fun and Fancy Free, the Disney movie, and they re-released it because they had like the version of it without Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, which sucked. I want to see the movie with them in it, and we finally got it. Cause that's why I remember. I remember seeing it in Catechism in the main hallway where we had like a free dinner. They showed that a long time. This was in the '70s. I remember them showing that along with some other stuff like Barefoot Detective and stuff like that. As a kid growing up in the '70s, you know. Well, anyways, Letter of Entry. I never bought it because they used to have a thing like buy five for $20. They were selling for $5 a piece, and I ended up not getting it. And then I don't buy DVDs anymore. And I remember when Dad was still alive. In 2015, I was starting to look up old stuff that in case Dad's getting older, we finally see these things. And they used to have like on Turner Class Movies that Saturdays at 10 o'clock. They used to have the Bowery Boys, and there was a whole crap load of them, right? And then the Bowery Boys stopped doing it, stopped showing. They stopped showing it. That was just the Bowery Boys, the bigger budgeted stuff. And they also had spin-offs, including Dead End Kids and also East Side Kids. That's like Spooks Run Wild from like Monogram and stuff like that. And I saw a whole bunch of those on YouTube, so we started watching them. And I was like, oh, but we got to check out Letter of Introduction. I remember Charlie McCarthy. So we saw it. There was a thing from Edison TV. We watched it, and they have like the movie's pretty long for 1938. It's like an hour and 41 minutes, which is really long for back then. And there was a whole bunch of copies, but I wanted to see the one from Classic Movies that had like an interview with a real ventriloquist in it. So it stretched the running time out to 2 hours and 4 minutes for the video. And then I checked out Edison TV. They don't have a ton of videos. They had something last year called Rehabilitating the Grinch. We had 2.5 million views. I was like, holy crap, that's really good. I wish one of my videos would get that many views. Well, anyways, we started watching it, and they showed like the guy, talked to the guy, and he showed how he made his dummies, and he showed how they worked inside and stuff, which went on for 15 minutes. Then he started the movie, and we watched maybe about 20 minutes of the movie, and then we shut off, and we said, oh, I'm getting tired, and went to it. Because it was interesting now, but late at night it seemed a little bit dry. The movie itself is pretty interesting. And we ended up shutting off, and then I never watched the rest of it. And this was back in the early 2015. Well, March, April 2015. And then we never bothered to watch it again. I think Dad usually complained a lot about watching those movies because all he wanted to do is he wanted to see football and baseball, and that's the only thing that was on back, especially on my days off. Because he didn't want to watch the Roku at all or anything like that. And my sister said, why don't you watch it whenever I leave? And he said, well, he didn't want to watch it. I said, why don't you show him how to use it? He said he didn't want to learn. I go, Dad, why don't you show you? I don't know. I don't want to do it. You do it. I don't want to learn. So, okay. And sadly, we never got to see the movie. Just like sadly, we never got to see how Sons of Anarchy ended. Because it was on, the final season on around 2015. And then they screwed up on demand with that. I got lost and then we didn't see it. So once like a year after his passing, I found out how Sons of Anarchy ended. So that was that too. It was kind of sad though, but oh well. But I finally got to see it. Started watching it last night. I dozed off some when the interview with that guy at the very beginning, and then I was wide awake for the movie, and I watched maybe half and then went to sleep. And I watched the rest of it today, which would be Tuesday. I'm putting this up tomorrow. It basically revolves around. The interview is actually interesting. It just put me to sleep last night because I was getting tired. It revolves around this girl. Well, Adolph Montague stars in it, who's always a great actor. And he's played this guy named. Oh, now I forgot his name. I have IMDb up right now. Oh, John Mannering. Right? He's supposed to be like this popular actor. It's kind of like Valentino, like all the girls like him and stuff like that. And, I guess he's going to be married to his fourth wife or something like that. Well, anyways, there's this girl named Andrea, Kate, played by Andrea Leeds, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Andrea Leeds, okay. I got it now. Go back to the... Well, those are two actors, but... Well, it actually starts off with a house fire. And, it It's on New Year's Eve, and then there's a house fire. There's actually a lot of people in the movie. Universal actually made it, but it's a public domain movie in 1938. Universal made it, and there's a whole ton of people that are not credited in the movie, and they have all the credit uncredited people on IMDb, but way too late now, you know. And it starts off New Year's Eve, and one girl, Kate, was talking to Edgar Bergen, and then all of a sudden when they said, "Your house on fire, your house on fire." Oh wow! And he had to go in there. Edgar Bergen had to go in there and get Charlie McCarthy out of there, and Charlie McCarthy has billing in the movie. And he's Edgar Bergen's ventriloquist dummy, if you don't remember. I was a big Charlie McCarthy fan. And the girl said, "Please get my letter." And then he went up to get Charlie, and he forgot to get her letter. She has like what they call a letter of introduction, which is supposed to be like, I looked up, I never heard that term before. Like a polite way that they popular in the 18 and 1900s about delivering social information. You know, in a different way, and I think there's things on YouTube how to write a letter of introduction, like creative writing and stuff like that. I never heard the term for letter of introduction. It kind of made like a resume, but more in a polite, subdued form. And he didn't get it, so she's, "Oh man, you didn't get my letter. I have to have it." And then her fiance one goes up to get and gets it for her. And then they don't seem too undaunted by the fire. You know, it's pretty harrowing. Well, I mean, somewhat harrowing, but they do it with some comedy and stuff. And then they go in that guy, hanging on that guy's house. They don't act like nothing's happened. And she was saying, "This letter's my thing for fame and fortune." And they talk about John Mannering, the Adolf Monju, marrying his fourth wife. You know. And she said, "I have to see this guy." And she finally gets in. She tells him what. She shows him the letter, and he's like in shock. And basically, the rest of the movie, well, it's a drama, but the Charlie McCarthy Edgar was inserted for comedy because they definitely needed comedy because it had been really kind of a little somewhat depressing without the comedy in it. And it revolves around this secret in this letter, and then it causes conflict with like. In both their relationships, I would get frustrated. I said, "Why don't you just tell them what was in the letter? It would solve everything." And they didn't, and there was a reason for it. And then, well, I don't want to give away. It's actually really good. I was frustrated with it, but it was very good. It was kind of sad though. And then when it ends, the mixture of tones is so weird because they have like Charlie McCarthy. They have like a whole big bit with Charlie McCarthy and Edgar Bergen. And I think that's to flush out some running time. Which is funny, and then he brings up Mortimer Snerd, which is really funny. And then there's such a mixture of tone in there, really sad. The stuff between Adolf Monju and Andrew Lees is really good, but there's stuff in there that's really sad. And the mixture of tone between comedy and sadness, especially towards the last 15 minutes. It's kind of sad, and then they leave on a comedic note. It kind of leaves you cold. It's really weird. I don't want no spoilers, though. For a 1938 movie, I don't know if anyone's going to bother watching. The version I watched that I saw of it was on Edison TV, which is actually a longer version. You can watch it. They have it on YouTube, along with Dancing Masters. Dancing Masters is like an hour and, 3 minutes or something like that. Well, like I said, little introduction is an hour and 41 minutes. But if you wanted to see the ventriloquist version on Edison TV, that's 2 hours and 4 minutes. I liked the movie though, but I was frustrated with it. I give Letter of Introduction 9 out of 10. I finally got to see it. I wish I would see it with Dad, but Dad always complained about a lot of the movies. Or there was a lot more movies I wanted to see on the streaming service aside from Netflix. Like, and then he'd get mad because there were so many commercials in it. You couldn't win, but I'm watching them now. So hope you like this review, everybody, of the Arizona Good Brew All Natural Green Tea, reviews of the Laurel and Hardy movie Dancing Master, then a very long-winded review of Letter of Introduction. I hope you liked them, all three of them, on this very special edition of Wet Wednesday, the Vacation Edition. So until next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion. Now, this is how you do it, Dan. You do the metal sign, take care, take care, and you do thumbs up, and take that back, put a thumbs up, my, and finger out legion, like that. Take care, everybody.